This is Jennie Allen, and you are listening to the Made for This podcast. Well, guys, you have been asking, and it is finally that time of the year again. It is Dream Guide time. You guys, I don't even know. We could add up how many of you over the last decade have downloaded this guide. It's tens of thousands of you. It is so beautiful to know that this has been a tool that y'all have been blessed by. My team works hard on it every single year. If you don't remember, it all began as something I would do in the car when we were coming home from grandparents' houses with my husband. And the two of us would sit in the front seat while our kids would sleep in the back. And I would take my moleskin, and I just had these headings that I have now all in this Dream Guide. And it was just super simple ways to reflect on the year that we just finished and to dream about the year ahead. I love this kind of thing. Some of you hate it. Great, skip it, no problem. But I would encourage all of you, this is a good practice. And it's a good practice for two reasons. Number one, you look throughout Scripture, God constantly uses the word remember. Remember, after the Israelites cross the Red Sea and he does this miracle, he sits them down and says, hey, make stones and remember what I have done for you. He wants us to remember because there are going to be times it looks like the Red Sea is not going to part, like we've talked about. And he wants them to know he can do it, and that if he's not doing it, there's some reason. And so remembering what God has done for you, remembering the blessings, remembering the growth, documenting that, I just think that is so important. I used to be a great journaler. Once I started writing books, I lost my will to journal because I write so much. So it just became it felt a little bit like work. So I don't journal a lot. So this is a really helpful process for me just to document and to set apart time to kind of journal and to reflect. And then two, it's important because, there are verses that talk about, don't worry about tomorrow because tomorrow will take care of itself. But there are actually a lot of proverbs about the wisdom of planning, and that the wise man will plot his steps and think ahead. And so we want to be people who are wise and discerning and notice, this is really off base right now, because sometimes it's just hard to make time to make the doctor's appointment because your health isn't as good as you wish, or to really pay attention to the one kid in your family that just is really, really struggling, or to imagine what you could do on your sophomore year that really was different than your freshman year. So wherever you are, whatever your life stage is, I feel like this is such an important process because we all tend to veer to the right and to the left rather than to run our race, fix our eyes on Jesus, and throw off the sin and the burden that so easily entangles us. And so this is the fight, right? We fight to not veer. We fight to not run off on the side of the road in any part of our lives. And again, I'm not legalistic. I'm probably the furthest from a legalistic person ever. But I have learned the power of discipline. I depend on discipline in my life to accomplish the will of God, but also to just be close to the Lord and to prioritize prayer, to prioritize time with God, to prioritize study, even prioritize my work, prioritize my family. These are things that when I sit down, my husband and I, and for you, it might be a friend and you, I always encourage you to walk through it with someone that loves you and knows you. It could be a parent, it could be a friend, it could be your spouse, it could be one of your kids. But to sit down and to just lay it out together and go, will you help me with this? Help me think about this. Because sometimes it just helps to verbally process and to imagine together what this future year could look like. So I deeply believe in this. I hope that it blesses you. We are working hard here to prepare for Gather. It is coming around the corner. I mean, Christmas will be here before we know it. And so we want every one of you to host that. And there's a little bit about Gather in this guide. You're going to see that. And so we hope that you will be prompted to be a part of this team.
Hey, it's Chloe. Get ready for the best gift idea for anyone on your list. Did you know Simple Modern has drinkware, so water bottles, coffee tumblers, and so much more for more than 100 colleges and universities? Grab a gift for every college superfan with licensed official drinkware from your favorite collegiate team. And if you're like us, we're big Aggies in our family. They come in all styles and sizes, so everyone from your littlest to biggest fan in your family will be ready for game day. And what we love most about Simple Modern is that they exist to give generously, so 10% of their profit goes to nonprofits across the world every year. Simple Modern products are good everywhere you go, and they work to spread good everywhere through their nonprofit partners. Don't forget to visit simplemodern.com/madeforthis to see Jennie's favorites and get 20% off those items as well.
Also, this is a huge passion of mine right now as we've been seeing revival happening on campuses and prisons. We also are praying for the 5.5 billion people that don't know Jesus yet. And so we each have a role to play in that. In fact, there are several people in my life right now I'm praying that they know Jesus. One of them is my friend who's a Buddhist, and we talk about the gospel. She said she's willing to come to church with me. But it begins by just you sharing the gospel with someone that doesn't know it. And it could be your barista, it could be your neighbor, it could be a friend at college, at school, whoever it is. We want you to pray for a few people and to simply share the gospel. We put a really simple tool in there for you, an easy way to just share the truth of the gospel with somebody that may not know Jesus yet. I really am believing for this year, for 2025, to be just full for myself, full of good work and a lot of rest. I'm going to take a good break in the summer. I can't wait. I'm also believing for play and for fun and for memories with my family, and all of these things. To be able to document them and to be able to tell that story is such a gift. So go download it, jennieallen.com, JennieAllen.com. We've got the link in the show notes, and you can download it and walk through it. It's simple. It's not rocket science. I hope that it blesses you. I have so many friends that they do it every single year. So I hope that's you. If it's not, this is your year. Jump on this bandwagon with us. And yeah, it's totally free. And I hope it blesses you.
On February 28th and March 1st, 2025, we are going to join together with the entire global church. We're praying and asking all 2.5 billion Jesus followers around the world to get together for 25 hours of prayer, worship, and commissioning to be sent out to reach the 5.5 billion who do not yet know the hope of Jesus. We need you to host a gather group. There are already almost 1,500 gather groups from over 70 countries, anywhere from someone's dorm room to a church to maybe even a citywide event. Gather 25 is going to be a live broadcast event, so you're going to see it on broadcast television, streaming platforms, YouTube. We're trying to make it as accessible as possible to as many people as possible. The event will be live translated into 15 different languages. You can go right now to gather25.com. That's gather25.com. And you can learn more about the event. You can download all of our resources for how to host a gather group, and you can say, I'm in. It won't be a gathering of the global church without you. So go to gather25.com. We will see you next time for another episode of the Made for This podcast.